Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. How is everyone? I'm just doing a quick live to give a quick update on our session this evening, the Dimensional Dialogues, what we're calling the December Deep Dive. I'm going to be joined by Ron Clark, hey Oza, how are you? Very good to see you. Very good to see everyone. So, as everyone here is aware, I do these one-on-one sessions, yeah? And a lot of people did them, and a lot of people haven't been able to do them. And by now, everyone also knows that December is supposed to be a quiet time. Not what we see in commerce, where there's lots of excitement and partying and eating a lot of food and going out, but rather a time of coming in. And I thought to myself, it would be good if people who are being plagued by these challenges and traumas would get one last chance to sit with them and see, pick them apart and then release them. And so I mentioned it to a couple of my colleagues, and they were very excited. So Ron Clark in particular, Ron, I'm sending you the invite right now. Oh, I'm accepting. It was a great idea. He's actually been doing some group sessions. And so what we decided we would do is to do these group sessions together where, hi Ron, how are you?
Hi. How are you? I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm fantastic. So I was just explaining to everyone what we're thinking. So Ron was explaining to me that there is a great benefit to having people come together to do these healing sessions, because then you get the benefit of group dynamics and something else that he calls the oversoul that gets involved in the release of the trauma. So without further ado, I'm just going to first of all, thanks Ron for being so generous and volunteering to come and be a part of this and lend your gift to this process of releasing of traumas. So Ron, let me just give a little overview of what Ron does. Ron does something called Ancestral Resolve. And Ancestral Resolve is something, it's almost like, it's like a cross between hypnosis and somatic processes, where he helps you to go into where the pain first started and to release that. So he does one-on-one sessions as well, like I do. So when we're going to do it together, we're going to talk through tips of how to release these issues, things that you can do, and then he's going to be doing some clearing as well. So Ron, explain to us how this Ancestral Resolve works and what is the oversoul, because you were explaining to me how the oversoul comes into play when you have groups of people healing together.
Okay, so Ancestral Resolve it's basically actually hurts, wrongs, judgments, unhealthy. We were taught a lot of who we think we are now. We were taught, we were made to believe these things. And in a lot of growing up and unconsciousness, we may have done things to somebody, or somebody may have done things to us. And in these circumstances, we had what we call like a shutdown. Some people call it trauma in the, I'd like to say trauma in the lineage. We can talk about trauma in the lineage.
Yes.
So these create a frequency. And these frequencies show the things that are happening in our life shows the evidence of what's going on deeper. And of course, this is to support everything professional care. We do encourage professional care. That this is to support it. So those hurts, wrongs, beliefs, they're not serving us. And I mean, we have different perspectives. The shamans would call it soul loss. Christianity would call it generational curse. So there are different names. But really what is the creator wants prosperity for us all. So that's our natural state. So if that's not happening, so life is simple physics. So if that is not happening in our natural state, there has to be, because physics is an energy in motion, stays in motion until a force acts upon it. So if that's not happening, it means there's something acting upon us that is creating situation that we're not wanting.
Right.
That's very important. What is serving us in every moment? So we need to address what's deeper, because what we want a lot of the times is not what we feel, what we carry, because we're not experiencing it. If you notice, everybody can attest to. Every time they say they don't want something, they keep getting it. So that deeper aspect, that's where we address the root. We get to the root cause of what's showing up. And people are wondering, they're working hard, they're doing everything, they follow the rules, and it's still showing up.
Right.
Relationships, right?
Right. You see, I'm happy that you said it that way, because what a lot of people are struggling with, even when it comes to anxiety, depression, relationships, and so on, is that they don't know what they did to have all of this sadness and grief and trauma in their life. And what we're realizing more and more is that perhaps it is not in this lifetime, but in a lifetime before this one. That's one.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's not you. Perhaps it's in your bloodline, your lineage. You know, in the Bible, they reference to the sins of the father are visited upon the children. It can be that as well. And so the sessions that you do help people to clear the ancestral traumas. And this is something that it's real. A lot of people don't believe that it exists, but I think in struggling to come to terms with some of the trauma that some people experience, I think they have no choice but to come to the conclusion, it's not me, man. It has got to be something that happened in my family line. Whether it's to my mother, to my grandmother, my grandfather, whatever. Somebody did something and it is still affecting me. I still carry it in my DNA. And that is what we are hoping to help people with. And that's what you do, right, Ron? You help people to resolve those ancestral, I would like to call them kinks.
So we meet people where they are.
Yes.
So people have different beliefs, and
Yes.
that's okay. So we do address the past lives for who believes. So we address it in all time, space, and dimension. So we address everything, just in case. And for who doesn't believe, who does believe?
Yes.
Yeah, we honor people where they are.
Right, and which is why I love this particular modality so much. I can talk people through. I can give people different perspectives. I can give them tips and tools to utilize. But then you come in and you're able to meet them wherever they are and address their issues based on their perspective of what it is, based on how they describe it. So for everyone who is joining, we're just discussing the sessions, the dimensional dialogue sessions that we're going to be having every Sunday during the month of December. They are basically an expansion of the one-on-one sessions that I do, and the one-on-one sessions that Rohan does. So we've come together and we're going to be doing group sessions every Sunday. We're doing it at 5 p.m. Jamaica time, which is Eastern Standard Time, every Sunday. And we're doing it particularly in December, particularly because December is a time where people are able to do a deep dive, deep introspection, deep reflection, so that they can identify issues, release them once and for all, and walk into the new year with some goals, some objectives, some ideas of how to move forward, because they've gotten rid of these burdens, because these are burdens that people carry in
Literally.
their consciousness, literally. The burden of sadness and anxiety and depression is so difficult for people to navigate sometimes. That's number one. Number two, with all of what's going on in the cosmos, we know that a lot of people are going to be struggling at this time. And so it's also an amazing time to do this kind of work, because we are going to be assisted and supported by the cosmos. All these solar flares are there to activate the DNA, right? And the work you do, Ron, helps in what is it what you call when you actually change DNA or upgrade DNA or edit DNA?
Well,
You
so
remember the term?
that's cellular level.
Yes, yes.
Then,
Exactly. Epigenetics. So basically,
and there are
some of
evidence,
the
a lot
work,
of evidence out there that speaks it.
right? So we know that some of the ancestral resolve is actually epigenetics in motion. Yeah, epigenetics is when you actually can change the DNA based on work being done. Remember, um, when anybody in our lineage suffers any kind of trauma, it's written into our DNA. So that's the epigenetics. The trauma creates that, and so it can be undone, right? And that's kind of what you do. Yeah.
Because we're literally, and they're proving this, we're solubles and true thoughts. We are basically an accumulation of our ancestral thoughts, words, and deeds. So through our
Yes.
thoughts, words, and deeds that we're unconscious of, it's creating our bodies, literally, and it's creating our experiences. So there are proof that shows that based on what we say to ourselves, and humans, evidence again, 95% of the time, humans are negative.
Yes.
19, 20 things that they say is negative. So these
Yes.
thoughts and these are creating health, affecting health, relationships, and finances, and it's
Yes.
affecting well, in the body.
Yes.
This is how it's showing up, right?
Right.
Using the thoughts, because the thoughts it it's showing up in the mind, but it's not. It's the mind synthesizes and it shows up from the deeper, from the subconscious. So we have to
Right.
be conscious, not cautious. Be conscious and be mindful of the
Yes.
thoughts, words, and deeds. And that's what a lot of people are not aware of, the thoughts, words, and deeds. And they're putting saddle on them and riding off into the sunset. So most
Yes.
of the times, people are coming from two places, either love or fear, fundamentally.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, and we want to transcend the fear into courage or the heart or the love. And we do that by asking questions. And this is why in the group dynamic is powerful, because one person will be asking the same question in different ways, because everybody are different and they learn
Yes.
different. Some people are several times, some people get it one time, some people get
Right.
it different ways. So in an environment with a group setting, different people ask the same questions and it's answered in different ways, and then people benefit from that. So
Right. Right.
so so
So
when
that's
we
the
think about,
yes, that's the whole process. Because some people say, "Oh my goodness, I don't want to come and discuss my problem in public." But the beautiful thing is, the problem that you have, so many other people have that problem. When it's discussed in this kind of setting, everybody benefits from the problem being discussed, ventilated, solutions given, um, and then this healing takes place. Also, one of the main reasons why we're doing this is because we recognize what happens at the micro level impacts the macro level. So when we have a bunch of people who are suffering from depression come together and discuss depression, the many faces of it, the many ways that they are suffering with it. And we all come together and we shift this problem as a collective. It affects the entire collective of the planet. And this is the beauty. This is the beauty. And this is why, for example, when we look at certain societies and we see a lot of trauma being executed, for example, we have a lot of crime and violence here in Jamaica. In the US, we see a lot of gun crimes among the black men in the US. It is because of collective trauma that has caused that. So when you have people coming together, working on a small group, and that small group releases the trauma, there is a hundredth monkey effect that happens. And that is why we are taking the time to make this offering available to everyone. And as we've said in the flyers, which I probably did not emphasize enough, we are having a different theme every week to, based on people's demands, people's requests. The first week, which is this week, we're going to be talking about anxiety and depression. So we encourage people. So if you're watching this video now or this live now, you can send to whomever it is who you know is having the challenge and let them join us. Anybody who's having anxiety, depression, let them join us this evening at 5 p.m. Next week, we're going to be talking about something else. I don't remember, but we have the topics that I know we're going to discuss. We're talking about the mother and the father wound. A lot of people are suffering from the mother and father wound. We're going to be talking about relationships. A lot of people are heartbroken. They can't understand why certain relationships didn't work. We're going to be discussing those things. We're going to be talking about so many things. I will post a flyer again, and I'll definitely list it in the description below, right? And so I encourage everyone to just join if they can. It's going to be almost like a master class. I just didn't want to call it a master class. It's going to be a master class in how to navigate anxiety and depression, and you're going to get hands-on support from Rowan in terms of the ancestral resolve. And I guarantee that taking the time, investing the time and energy into this reflection, introspection will serve you next year, because you're going to walk into the new year lighter, stronger, more aware, and you have the energy of the cosmic storms, the solar storms, also working on your consciousness, elevating your consciousness, and helping you to evolve. This is the absolute best time to be doing this. Plus, as someone was saying to me earlier, Ron, it's so funny. I have 2 or 3 other colleagues in different parts of the world, and interestingly, all of them have created an offering for December. It's almost as if we all collectively realize that, listen, in order to create heaven on earth or co-create the reality we want, we have to be doing more and doing slightly different things to push the process along. Yeah. When we say heaven on earth, we now back off of that. We are going for heaven on earth no matter what. We are going for it. We don't care how far-fetched and ridiculous the concept is. Like, how the hell can you be thinking of heaven on earth and the people them down the road killing themselves, and there's injustice and there's crime and there's racism and there's natural disasters? Yes, those things are happening.
But there's a flip side to that as well. There are other things. Although that is happening, there are beautiful things happening somewhere else. So it's where we choose to put our attention.
That's right.
Right. So where we put our attention, we're bringing in more of that. And of course, we do observe it, but we don't keep our attention on it, because as we're magnets.
Yeah.
And we're magnetizing, as I say, it's the name, pay attention. We're paying with our attention. Yes. So what we're paying for, we're getting.
Yes.
So we do express sympathy and everything, but we don't lament and keep living in that frame.
Right, because what we are doing is re-experiencing an experience that was already had. Right? So empathy and compassion is good. But when we are re-experiencing and re-experiencing, then we're basically amplifying something that has happened and regurgitating something painful that has happened. That is not serving the collective.
Right.
You know?
It's first, if they're individual imbalance, then it's going to be collective imbalance. So we want to address individually. So we want to have individual wholeness. Because individual don't mean separate. We want the individual as one. It doesn't mean separate. So when each person addresses their stuff, then it affects the collective consciousness in that way. And then if you have individual balance, then it's going to show up in the collective consciousness. What is happening individually, as I said, oversoul, and there are different oversouls. The governing agency, that's what is running the show.
Yes.
Based on the majority and the quality of what individually is showing up in individuals.
Yes, absolutely. I love how you put that. So essentially, as you said, if we are doing this kind of healing and trauma release kind of work in the micro, then it's going to be amplified in the macro.
Yeah,
and so this is why it's beneficial.
One thing that is interesting as well, everything has it's like a coin. Everything, even good, has a head and a tail. It has an exalted side and it has a, so even anxiety and some of these things, they have an exalted side as well. So we'll get deeper into that. Some of these things are actually here for us to evolve us spiritually as well. It's a nudge for us to. It's like if you're sleeping and you don't want to wake up, sometimes you get at the top and you're not waking up, you have to get a little harder top. So the harder it is for you to wake up, the harder the top, so to speak.
Right.
So there's an exalted side to everything as well.
Absolutely. Someone just asked a question here. How can humans find out who's a star seed here on Earth, and is that a part of the 144,000? Let me just answer that question by saying, this whole concept of star seed, it's basically people who understand that they have been seeded on the planet at this time to assist in this process of evolution and ascension. So if you think you're a star seed, you are a star seed.
That's it.
The fact that you can, first of all, not everybody on this planet hears about the concept of starseed. The fact that you hear about it means that you drew that information to you to tell you who you are. So to me, that's my short answer. If you think you're a starseed, you're a starseed. Some people will tell you, I'm not a starseed, I'm an indigo. Some other people will tell you, well, I'm not an indigo, I'm a crystal. And some people, if you think you're a starseed, you're a starseed. I'm telling you that. You don't need anybody to validate anything. Know thyself. And if you suspect for a minute that you're a starseed, that's it, you are. We are all starseeds, because what they say is that all humans on this planet have DNA from many of the star systems, that we are actually stardust. Yeah? Because there's a lot of material from the other star systems on this planet. It's in our soil. It's in the air. It's everywhere. So we are part of that.
We're all different, dynamic, unique.
Yes.
But not separate.
That's it. It's the oneness.
We're all different angles of light, different stars. And we have equal abilities.
Yes.
It's unique in all of us. So what we need to do, what is happening really, like masculine and feminine, which is the duality, it's a competition that's going on instead of a complementing. So we're here to interdepend on each other, to share our gifts. Everybody have individual gifts. So we are here to enjoy each other's gifts. So we want to complement each other, to co-create. That's complement each other, not compete. We are more powerful now. All of us are powerful.
Yes.
So we want to use that to serve the good of all.
Right. So we're gonna wrap up now, but if you are coming across this video, know that it's not by accident. It is because either you should be a part of it or you know somebody who will benefit from it. Share it with them. It's 5 p.m. this afternoon, and we are going to be doing this at 5 p.m. every Sunday for the month of December. There is a charge. It's costing $22, and that's a huge discount from my one-on-one and from Rohan's one-on-one. And we are doing this because it's our gift to you, our gift to humanity, because we know that when we do this work together and when we make this kind of service available to people, everybody wins. Everybody is lighter. Everybody evolves. And the more people that evolve is the closer we move towards heaven on earth. Okay? So we're just inviting you, and we just also want, for those people who are not going to be a part of it, we also want to just reiterate that December should be a time of just being very still, very introspective. One of the maybe 2 years ago was when my Kemetic teacher explained to us what December should be all about: the silence, the stillness, solitude, as we plant the seeds in spirit for what we want next year. And believe me, when I followed those instructions that Christmas, believe me, that was a year when I had the greatest impact on humanity because of the work that I was doing, right? And so all of us have that opportunity if we put in the time in December, near to going towards the winter solstice, of being still, being quiet, and really sitting down and focusing, writing your dreams for 2024. Believe me, they will manifest. So spend the time now in December, invest the time in the silence, in the solitude. Fast if you can. Stay away from the whole heap of Christmas party and the whole heap of Christmas food. And you see, they've designed it that way, when you eat a lot and so on, you are in the material, you're focused on the physical and the senses and the sensual pleasures of life. And the more you're in that, is the further you are away from the spiritual. So when you let go of the sensual pleasures, which is the food, the parties, the socializing, and so on, and you retreat into the solitude, that's where you find self. That's when you strengthen the connection with spirit, and that's when you truly get benefits, because spirit is listening, spirit is working with, and so spirit is going to be manifesting with you come next year. All right, so we're going to wrap up now. Ron, thank you. And for those people watching, I hope to see you later on this afternoon. There's a link in the bio. And for those persons who can't be bothered to find link in the bio, you can always WhatsApp me at 876-593-1313, and I will send you the registration link. Okay? Thank you, Ron. See you
Bye.
later. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining. I
Bye-bye.
will put the details below.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.